I've had Galgun 2 in my crosshairs ever since it was announced. I was expecting it to be a little half-cocked, and I'm going to shoot from the hip here. When I did decide to bite the bullet and jump into this like a loose cannon, the last thing I was doing was shooting blanks. And if you are suffering from that, you might as well take a shot in the dark and see if Galgun 2 helps, because this game is way better than it has any right to be. You may have seen my preview for this game about a week ago that was based on my first hour with the game. I had my doubts that the gameplay could get any deeper than the very simplistic on-rail shooting mechanics that it initially presented. But you know what? It has exceeded all expectations. And the thing to keep in mind here is that it had almost no reason to expand the gameplay, because the real draw of the game is the interactive visual novel aspect, the character interactions, and the fan service, if you're into that sort of thing. They really did squeeze out just about everything imaginable for such limited gameplay mechanics though. For the most part, you are shooting girls with what is essentially an orgasm gun. There is actually an interesting overarching story which surprised me, but for now I'll just say there is a heaven and a hell, and the reason you have a special gun is to destroy demons, which can only be seen when you are wearing special pheromone goggles. The problem is that the goggles attract girls as well, so you just need to shoot them with your gun to satisfy them before they smother you with their lust. There are demon-possessed girls that need to have their demons killed before they become vulnerable, but the real surprise was all the different modes the game offered once it opened up. There are normal shooty missions, there are defense missions where you'll need to defend girls or other NPCs from swarms of demons. It's a little like a horde mode. Then there is a hidden item mode where you'll need to search high and low for a certain number of objects. This even has a stealth element involved, as girls will be routinely wandering around and you'll want to avoid them to get as much time as possible to search for the items. The last two modes can actually be really challenging, and some of the places the items are hidden is really creative. But in addition to that, there are also boss fights which have a handful of different mechanics that differ from fight to fight, and there is a sort of exorcism mode as well, where you'll be tasked with finding weak spots on a possessed girl to spring those little demons out of her. All of this probably wasn't even needed for a lot of people to enjoy the game regardless, because while some of these modes are actually more fun than their limited mechanics might suggest, the real fun comes from the character interactions, and surprisingly, the writing. This game is actually exceptionally well written, and again, I really don't think it needed to be. Most people are going to assume this is just a big fan service nothing of a game anyway. They could have just as easily been lazy and throw anything in there as long as the cute anime girls were still there. They really didn't do that though. I know I've said surprising quite a few times now, but honestly, this game kept surprising me. I was actually taken aback on 3 separate occasions during story twists that I did not see coming, which is more than just an average JRPG. This could be attributed to the fact I had my guard down. As such, I never expected this game to be so well written, so I wasn't thinking about it too much as the narrative unfolded. It also just occurred to me that I've made it seem like straight fan service games are bad, or that I was expecting this game to be bad. Rest assured, I don't think that at all. A fan service game can be a lot of fun. The point I wanted to express is that Galgun 2 is a lot deeper than I ever thought was possible before playing. The thing is, if all you want is fan service, this game has it in spades. Invite girls home, invade the showers, have photo shoots at the pool, or give them an exorcism so hard they lose a layer of clothes. These are all things you can do, and you don't ever need to care about anything else. But for those wanting a deeper, richer experience filled with really funny character interactions and a surprisingly interesting narrative, you don't need to look elsewhere. Galgun 2 is an interactive visual novel dating sim on-rail shooter amalgamation that is far better than it has any right to be. It's brilliant. Now, you might be disappointed with the simplistic mechanics if you buy this on PS4. It certainly doesn't feel like a AAA release, but it was never trying to be one in the first place. I'll be damned if this isn't the perfect Switch game though. I've played a hell of a lot of it on the Switch, both in docked and handheld mode, and the game hasn't skipped a beat, and I can't stop myself from going back to it so I can experience more hilariously over-the-top scenes with other girls and unlock more endings. Would I recommend this to somebody who has a problem with fan service? Absolutely not. But fans of visual novels in general? Absolutely. And fans of games like Senran Kagura will likely get an equal level of enjoyment out of Galgun 2. I always knew I was going to have fun, but I didn't expect to have this much fun. Check out the links in the video description to pick up a copy for yourself. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and sharing, and I'll see you all soon.